Question number 6, Claire Baker.
To ask the First Minister what the Scottish Government's response is to reports of sexually exploitative behaviour in the private rented housing sector.
First Minister.
Well, I was extremely concerned, horrified actually, to read the reports that the member refers to, and the Minister for Housing has already written to the website concerned that hosted these adverts, asking them to take action. As a government, we are already taking action to tackle issues like this through the implementation of Equally Safe, which is our strategy to tackle any violence against women and girls. And we're also taking action, of course, to improve the availability of and access to housing for everyone, in action to tackle poverty and inequality, which can so often render people vulnerable to being exploited in this kind of way. Any person always has the right to refuse to consent to sexual activity, and forcing someone in any way to participate in sexual activity is a crime. So we continue to keep all laws under review to ensure that they are fit for purpose in tackling what I think are unacceptable behaviours.
Claire Baker.
I thank the First Minister for her response, and we know that these sex for rent adverts have been posted online for properties in Scotland, but we have no way of knowing how many tenants are currently in these arrangements. And as the First Minister says, the practice does open the door to vulnerable tenants who are often facing homelessness and poverty and are finding themselves in commercially exploitative arrangements. I welcome the First Minister's reports of the action that has been taken by the Housing Minister, but can I ask her what action the Government will take to ensure that any landlords who are found to be offering such arrangements are properly dealt with? More specifically, what action is being taken through the Equally Safe project, and also have they had time to have discussions with any groups who are supporting vulnerable women who are seeking accommodation to raise awareness of these exploitative practices?
First Minister.
Well, let me assure the member that we will look carefully at what action we can take further to what we are already doing across all of these areas. The Minister would be very happy to meet with the member to discuss this in more detail if that would be of interest to her. She raises particularly the situation of landlords, and where landlords are behaving unacceptably, then clearly there are provisions to seek to deal with that. I suspect in cases like the one she's highlighting, often the problem will be there is no formal tenancy agreement. These are informal arrangements, which doesn't make them any more acceptable, in fact much less so. But sometimes that will be one of the challenges. These are not formal arrangements where there is a recognised or registered landlord. But nevertheless, these are serious issues. Obviously, there are wider issues involved around this kind of thing, but I will undertake to ensure that the Minister considers all of the suggestions made by the member, and the offer of a meeting stands if the member wishes to take it up.
Patrick Harvey.
I recognise the First Minister acknowledges that not all of these circumstances will involve a registered landlord, but in order to register, landlords have to comply with a fit and proper person test. Isn't it pretty clear that any such exploitative arrangements should lead to an automatic fail of the fit and proper person test and revocation of any existing landlord registration?
First Minister.
I think my simple and straightforward view or answer to that question would be yes. I struggle to see how anybody who placed an advert of this description would pass the fit and proper person test. Patrick Harvey and other members, indeed, of course, will be aware there is a proper statutory and legal process that local authorities have to go through before they can take landlord status away from somebody, and obviously I couldn't in any situation preempt that. But I think we're all agreed about the unacceptability of the examples that have been brought to the Chamber's attention. So just as I did with the previous member, I will undertake to discuss this with the relevant Minister to make sure that the Scottish Government is taking whatever appropriate action we are able to take.